What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and today we are continuing down the path of awesomeness, which is Black Star promos. Now listen, we did the Sword and Shield version a couple weeks ago, and we had a ton of fun, and I was really pumped about that. But believe it or not, I am even more excited to talk about these Sun and Moon Black Star promos, and that's because the Sun and Moon era as a whole has been so incredibly hot as of late. There's been some amazing tag team cards, there's been some awesome full art trainers. Like, these cards have just been performing really, really well. But what does that mean? Usually when you have that happening, there are some cards that check all of the same boxes, but for whatever reason, they are flying under the radar, and the market hasn't quite realized how awesome they are. So what happens is when some of these cards that the market is going after start to get really, really high, then the market starts to look for other opportunities where they can buy them for a little bit more of a reasonable price point. And I think we have some cards on this Sun and Moon Black Star promo list that check a lot of those boxes. Now listen, I have shared time and time again why I love Black Star promos in general. Like, I love the fact that they're exclusive. I love the fact that you can't find them in booster boxes and elite trainer boxes and all of that stuff. Well, some of the Black Star promos you get out of elite trainer boxes. But anyways, I love the fact that you can't find them in packs. And for me, I feel like there's a little bit of protection against these massive restocks and reprints. And I'm not saying that boxes don't get reprinted from time to time and restocked. They absolutely do. But I don't think it happens in the same velocity as booster boxes and packs in general. So I love that about them. The other thing that I really like is the fact that, listen, the Pokemon Company does a terrible job of taking good care of these Black Star promos, right? Most of the time, they either shove them in a cellophane thing and throw them in an elite trainer box, or they'll shove them into a plastic carriage and then shove it into the box and ship it out to you. Like, the backs are nicked, the corners are dinged. There's all kinds of problems with getting these in high grade. And what does that mean? That means if you're lucky enough to get a really minty copy and you can get it in a high grade, there's a lot of value that's associated with it. So listen, we're going to go through some incredible cards on this list. I can't wait to get that in front of you, but here's what I'm going to say. If you enjoy stuff like this, we're building an amazing community. I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. If you have questions or comments, drop them down below. And as always, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Those three small things go a long way in helping my small channel out. Lets me know you appreciate the work that we put in here at the PikaPikaPaPa channel. So without further ado, let's get into the very first card, because this is one of my favorites. And I already own this in the personal collection, that Magikarp and Whale Lord right here. I call it the Ocean Baddies card, right? It comes out of the Towering Splash GX box, and the Towering Splash GX box over the last couple months has performing really, really well. So there are two things that I look at whenever I'm trying to understand, hey, listen, is there value here? Is there upside in these Black Star promos? I want to see how the raw card is performed versus the PSA 10 version, right? Because the PSA 10 version is going high and the raw card is playing flat, then a lot of times people will go after the raws because they see the PSA 10 price appreciation and they'll want to get in on that. The other thing I look for is, how's the sealed product performing? So a card like this, I see that, hey, listen, the sealed product has been doing really well over the last couple months. So we've seen this card do really well as well. If you see in the price graph down below, the orange line represents the TCG player price and the blue line represents the eBay price. Now, one of the things that I liked most about this was not just the performance of the box, but also the fact that you see at the end here, there's a big gap between TCG player price and eBay price. And that's not uncommon. We see that from time to time. But when I see this, it gets me an idea of, hey, listen, could I possibly get some on eBay at a discount right now? Because I do expect the eBay price to eventually catch up to the TCG player price. And there's all kinds of factors in this, right? There is quality, like, is it lightly played? Is it near mint? Is it heavily played? Etc., etc. But it all pretty much averages out. So I'm really excited to see this gap. And I think if you're hunting on eBay, you could get this card for a really great price. And I think it's going to eventually continue to catch up to that TCG player, and there's going to be upside in it. The other thing I really like about this is there is a tag team variant of this in Team Up, and Team Up is obviously the big set of Sun and Moon. The booster boxes are going for stupid prices. You know, the Magikarp and Whale Lord card in that set is going for an incredibly high price too. So I think what might happen is when people get to the point that they can't afford that one, they might look for something similar like this. Obviously the exact same Pokemon on here, obviously really, really awesome artwork. So I would not be surprised to see this one perform well in the long run, and I am so pumped to have this in my collection. And I will probably pick up one or two more just because I have that much conviction in it. Speaking about a card I have a ton of conviction in, that's also this one right here, the Small and Mighty box. Like, the Small and Mighty box just checks every single box it possibly can for me. I love it. Both my kids were born as preemies, one at 1 pound 10 ounces, one at 2 pounds 13 ounces, and we always call them Small and Mighty. And you look at the way this box has performed over the last year, and it has been very, very mighty, right? You got the Cleffa, you got the Igglybuff on here. Overall, these are just some really cool Pokemon on here. The full art tag teams have been on absolute fire right here. And what I did for the price points down here when I talked on that first slide about some of the things that I look for is the box or the sealed product doing really well, which this one obviously is. And I also look to see the PSA 10 prices doing well. So in this price graph down below, the orange line is the PSA 10 price, and you see that continuing to go up, this slowly up and to the right, kind of stair-stepping its way up there. But then when you look at the blue line, which is the raw card price, it has been really flat for the last couple months. Now, this is an expensive card. It's going to cost you high 60s, low 70s to get it raw. And the PSA 10s are really going for north of $200 right now. So not a bad investment. If you can get it in a minty copy, if you can get it in the PSA 10, I do think the raw cards will continue to appreciate as long as those PSA 10s continue to do the same thing. So I absolutely love this card. It is a stunner. I don't have it yet, but I am going to be taking a look at it very, very hard in the upcoming months. Now, another card that I really love, not just because of the artwork, but I love it because it has Giratina in it right here. I love it because it comes from a Unified Minds tin, right? The Power Partnership tin. Giratina has been one of those cards that we've been talking, or characters we've been talking about for the last 3 months, and we've been saying, listen, everything is pointing to this character really heating up. The grading reports have been there, the throughput has been there, and then look what this card has done. Over the last couple months, right, it has gone up and to the right. Now it's selling with a lot more velocity on the orange line, which is TCG player. You'll see there's these flat up, flat lines for the blue line. That's eBay, just hasn't sold a lot there. But the big thing is these tag team cards with big names, when you can get them for under $30, again, this is what I was talking about earlier in the video. When I see cards like this that I feel like are flying under the radar, it's got the names on it, it's got the artwork, like I get really excited about this. I think that there is an awesome opportunity here. And then when you look at the sealed product it comes out of over there to the left, that Power Partnership tin from Unified Minds, look how flat it was, and it has just skyrocketed here over the last month. So it looks like the sealed product could be in a position to take a run. The cards on TCG Player has been performing really, really well. We know Giratina cards as a whole have been absolutely crazy hot. So this checks all of those boxes for me, and I think this one has the opportunity to do really, really well as well. Now, speaking of team up, right, this Pikachu card, I love everything about it. This is one of the artworks where, you know, yellow border cards are really, really cool. You know, we're getting the silver era right now. But I love the yellow on yellow, plus the Pikachu is yellow. I just love everything about this. You know, the other thing that I really like is I love when you have blister packs that have a big name character on it, right? So this comes from a team up blister pack. You get one single pack in there, you get a coin, and you get this card. And if you look at the graph to the left, for one team up pack, this card and a coin, the sealed product is going for $40.50. And look at how it has performed over the last year. Now, again, as I said earlier, we know Team Up has performed really well, so I'm not surprised to see this. But the interesting thing for me is this card raw is in the $10 to $12 range right now, like even cheaper on TCG Player. We talked earlier about how we saw TCG Player above eBay. Well, in this instance, we see eBay above TCG Player. And the 10s are going for around $110 plus. And when I looked at the population report, there's about 800 PSA 10s and 1,100 PSA 9s. So when you think about that, that is not a crazy ratio of 9s to 10s. And I'm not saying this is an easy 10 grade or anything like that, but it is interesting. A lot of times you'll see a couple thousand PSA 9s and a couple hundred PSA 10s when they come from these blister packs, simply because it is really, really hard to get good grades out of them. The other thing that I'll say too is blister packs as a whole, it's like such a sneaky sealed investment, right? We talked on the Sword and Shield version about those Umbreons that was coming out of the Evolving Skies 3-pack blister. We saw that Evolving Skies 3-pack blister with Umbreon has done really, really well. Well, there's no exception. Like, this is doing the exact same thing. I love those as a sealed investment. I love the cards that come out of them. Again, when you're talking about Evolving Skies, that was the big set from Sword and Shield. Obviously, Team Up is the big set from Sun and Moon. Getting a big-time character out of their sealed blister packs, I think, is absolutely awesome. This is a card I am in love with. I already have 2 on order. Guaranteed I will be ordering more. Now, the next one right here... Again, I follow the trends. I don't know, you know, Umbreon has been really, really hot. This card is going for around $10. I had this card on my 10 under 10 video, even though it's going for $10. It is the awesome chase card from this box, which is going for around $150 to $200 right now. We talked about, and this applies to all of these products we've talked about so far. I think a lot of people are keeping all of the sealed products that these cards come out of exactly that, sealed, right? Like these boxes are going for a couple $100s. I think you got to have some really big stones in order to crack those open, hoping that you can sell the single card in there and get it graded in PSA 10 and sell it. So I don't think we're going to see an influx of a lot of these on the market. The other thing I love about this is we all know the Jolteon, the Vaporeon, the Flareon from those premium collection card boxes in the Sword and Shield era. Those are going for, they're double this. All of them are double the price of this card. This card is older. It comes from a more expensive box. Like, I think this card has nothing but room to run, and I love the fact that it's under $10. I love this whole video because we've been able to highlight a whole lot of cards that are really approachable price points. We got a couple that are higher, a couple that are lower, and I love it when a video works out like that. So I am absolutely pumped about this card. I was thrilled to have it on the 10 under 10 video, and I am equally thrilled to continue to keep it on this Sun and Moon Black Star promo video. Now, with that being said, listen, if you guys made it to the end of this video and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Questions or comments, drop them down below. I'm going to get to work on the XY era Black Star promos, and that is going to be absolutely bonkers because there are some super cool cards in the XY Black Star promo set. So I'm going to get after that. You guys have an epic one, and as always, I appreciate you. Talk to you soon.